नहीं हुआ है।
लाइव है सर।
नहीं, अभी तक नहीं, नजर नहीं आ रहा है। एक बार मैं पेज रिफ्रेश करूं। हाँ, यस। Jai Hind. Brigadier Hemant Mahajan welcomes you to another session on India's maritime and coastal security. I take this opportunity to thank Kanoji Angre Maritime Research Institute based in Nashik for giving me an opportunity to speak on issues related to maritime and coastal security. I have divided my talk into two parts. First, I'll talk about certain important happenings that have happened with regard to India's maritime security. And after that, I will touch upon the India's coastal security. Especially today's topic is talking about other agencies which are involved in securing India as far as coastal security is concerned. So these are the two topics I am going to talk about. And as far as the maritime security is concerned, I will talk about how Japan and Taiwan, which are China's enemy number one, how they can be used to improve the quality of India's maritime security. Because Chanakya had said long time back that that enemy's enemy is your friend. So therefore, Japan and Taiwan, which have a long outstanding disputes with China, is definitely a friend of yours as far as improving your maritime security is concerned. Now let us look at the world map. This map I had shown you before, but just to make you aware. Now, India's geopolitical location, if you look at it, you will find that India has got 7,600 kilometers of coastline, which simply means nobody can choke up India as far as war is concerned. While China is landlocked from three sides, and only this is the area where China has a coastline. And China, there is what is called as China's Malacca dilemma. China's all the trade either from here comes via the Gulf, via the Malacca Strait and goes into China, or the routes that the trade that comes from Europe comes from here, routes, oblique trade routes which come from Africa come from here. So Malacca Strait, which is between Singapore and China, Singapore and Indonesia, is a place where Chinese can be blocked. So this is called as the Malacca dilemma, and this is a weak point. And if you look at the map, you'll find that India's uh, island set of island territories are located here, especially the Andaman and Nicobar Island. Not only that, even the Lakshadweep Islands are located on the maritime sea routes of the world, and especially that of China. So we have a tremendous capability of blocking China with the help of our friends in the Malacca Strait. Of course, China, since a long time, is talking about developing alternate routes to the Malacca dilemma. And one route that they have in mind is basically the which is called as the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which enters into China like this. This 4,500 kilometers of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is going to be a white elephant both for China as well as Pakistan. I have spoken about it a bit earlier, so I will not repeat anything. And you would remember that just last 1 week back, a bus carrying 9 Chinese engineers for a project of building a dam in Pakistan were attacked and were killed. So thereafter, China got very angry. You would remember that 2 divisions of Pakistan, called as the special divisions or the light divisions, are guarding the CPEC. And in fact, there was a photograph which was viral on the social media in which it showed that Chinese workers who are working in Pakistan are not sure about the quality of security which Pakistan is giving them. So therefore, they are carrying AK-47 rifles themselves so that they can protect themselves. Now, China is also trying to work out on another route, which is called the Myanmar-China Economic Corridor. This is the corridor which comes into the port of Sitwe, which is located on the Myanmar coast. And today, there's almost a civil war which is going on between the Myanmar military and the Myanmar people. And today, the Myanmar military is siding with China, and China is wanting to construct this route on a priority basis so that it has an alternate route as far as the Malacca is concerned. Of course, there is another route which China is exploring in a long-term method, that is called the route which goes from the top, which is basically the North Pole, where the snow is melting. Maybe another 5 to 10 years or 15 years time, this route may become available for world trade. This much is adequate for giving out the locations are concerned. Let us talk about the latest information. China has been busy building artificial islands in the South China Sea. Look at this map of China and you will see this area between China and Southeast Asian nations is called the South China Sea. Then this is a state, this is the Taiwan, which is China's enemy number one. And of course, this is Japan, which is also China's enemy. Now the sea here is called the East China Sea, and this is called the Sea of Japan. Now today, there are a lot of issues with regard to South China Sea, with regard to East Sea, and with regard to others. What I will focus now is the latest information which came that China has been building artificial islands. What it simply means is, one of the photographs is shown here. What it does is there are rocks available, there are reefs available. So they have broken these rocks and reefs, made them flat, and used them as a construction material for extending the islands, especially filling up low-lying areas. And therefore, they are what you can see here, that they have built an airstrip in this area. You can see it very, very clearly. This airstrip has been built by the Chinese. Now, this way they are making a misuse of what is called as United Nations Convention on Laws of Seas. What it says is from a country's baseline or from its coastline up to 200 nautical miles, the sea belongs to you. It is called as the exclusive economic zone, and 350 nautical miles from your baseline or from your coastline, the area is called extended exclusive economic zone. So therefore, China, with the help of artificial islands, now is claiming that almost the entire South China Sea belongs to it, and therefore creating disputes between the Southeast Asian nations. Today, none of the nations is agreeing with it, but because of China's military might and economic might, they are not protesting adequately. However, the latest information says that the Chinese artificial islands are crumbling because they have played with the nature, and nature is not accepting it. So therefore, they are crumbling. So if this happens, China's dream of having created many artificial islands and having placed its ship assets, its fighting militia or fishing militia there, they are going to have a problem economically. Very quickly, have a look at the Indian map. 200 nautical miles from our baseline area belongs to us. We have two set of island territories, the Andaman Nicobar Islands. See how near it is to stop the Chinese in the Malacca Strait. And of course, here you have what is called as the Lakshadweep Island, Lakshadweep Islands. These are very important for keeping a surveillance on the world trade. As far as the other agencies are concerned, of which who are involved in India's coastal security, these are Army, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard, Border Security Force, Central Industrial Security Force, Customs, Port Trust, DG Shipping, DG Lighthouses, DG Hydrocarbons, Economic Agencies, etc. Now, all these agencies play a very important role as far as securing India's coastal security is concerned. So we will talk about it in a while afterwards. Now, let me firstly come down to Japan. This map shows you Japan, it shows you Sea of Japan, and it shows you China. Now you can have a look at it from here. Basically, this is China. This complete area belongs to China, and there are an island called Senkaku Island here, which is a disputed island as far as Japan and China is concerned. Here you can see the Southeast Asian nations very clearly: Myanmar, Thailand. Especially have a look at Vietnam, Thailand, Philippines, etc. These countries have a maritime dispute with China, and they are our potential friends. In fact, there were news that the Indian armed forces are training the Vietnam Army, Navy, and Air Force in a big way. We will focus now only on Japan. Japan is very important from one point of view, that one would remember that in the Second World War, Japan had captured almost half the world, and from Japan, the Japanese army had reached outskirts of India. And you would remember that on one of the e-Vyakyanmalas, I had spoken about how the Indian National Army, along with the Japanese, was trying to liberate India during the Second World War. But Japan was a very mighty nation. After the Second World War, it decided to be pacifist. It put an restriction on itself that it will not increase its armed forces. It will be protected by USA. And all this while, the United States had a big base in Japan at a place called Okinawa, and Japan's interests were being protected by the USA. However, recently, after the disputes with China have started increasing, after China has become more aggressive, some kind of a trade war is going on between Japan and China. Japan has also said that it supports the Taiwanese You can see you can see Taiwan here. The map is slightly unclear, but you can see Taiwan here. But what is more important is to see the Senkaku Islands. These are the islands which Japan claims belongs to Japan, and China claims it belongs to them. So therefore, there's a dispute. And a lot of times, Chinese keep on patrolling in these areas, trying to encroach into the exclusive economic zone of Japan, and Japan tries to stop them. This is how the Senkaku Islands look. Now, the Senkaku Islands are called by different names. Japan calls it Senkaku, Chinese call it by some other name. But the important issue is it's an area which is disputed, and therefore there's going to be some kind of a problem. However, what is important from India's perspective is in a historic move about some time back, Japan has decided that it is going to increase its defense budget or the military budget. It had laid a restriction itself that it will never spend more than 1% of its GDP, gross domestic product, on its defense and security forces. This is the gap that they adhered to for all those last 70, 80 years. But now they have decided that they are going to increase their defense spending. Before that, not only will Japan increase its defensive capabilities, but Japan will also increase its offensive capabilities. Japan is very good in terms of economic aspect. Japan's military is very powerful. They are experienced people. They are patriotic, and they are building an alliance in Southeast Asia with the help of other nations against China. Especially now they are working with the Southeast, with the Pacific nations and building up an alliance there. It is also helping Taiwan. It is also helping other countries such as Vietnam, etc. So Japan is a good friend of ours, and we must ensure that we continue to build good maritime relations and military relations with Japan. We should also increase our strategic cooperation with them. We should also increase our intelligence cooperation with them. We should carry out regular exercise with their Coast Guard so that we understand as to how the Chinese militia functions when it comes to maritime security. Now I'll go on quickly to the next thing of a very important things are happening as far as the security is concerned. Suddenly we have got caught into the narcotics trade, which goes on from the Southeast Asian nations towards Gulf countries, and a lot of narcotics is being caught. We are in the process of creating a theater command in which a maritime command will be created. Some time back, there was a bit of unrest in the Lakshadweep Islands, and today we are going in for deep sea missions, etc. Very recently, we had the Kargil War Day on 26th of July, and after the Kargil War, a group of ministers had recommended to improve the quality of security, we should have a national maritime security coordinator or a national maritime advisor. National maritime advisor. This has finally been accepted, and government is going to appoint a national maritime security coordinator, and he is going to be an officer of the Navy, hopefully of the rank of a vice admiral. So this will ensure that our quality of our security goes up further. Now this is Taiwan. Taiwan is actually, what one must understand is Taiwan, the Chiang Kai-shek regime, when it lost to the Red Army in the Chinese mainland, came to Taiwan and established itself on the Taiwan island. Now, Taiwan is a nation of approximately 3 crores, economically very prosperous, technologically very good. And today, China says that Taiwan is its part. And India has been keeping quiet on this issue. And we have had some time back said that we believe in one China policy on which we are having a rethink. But Taiwan is an independent nation as it stands now. And the Taiwanese present Prime Minister, a lady, is a very brave person, and she's standing up to China. China is regularly sending its fighter aircraft into the Taiwanese airspace from here. You can see this is from here, Taiwanese airspace. They cross the Taiwanese Strait and come into the defensive zones of Taiwan. Then Taiwan points out its gun, its air force takes up, and then the Chinese aircraft run away. Now, Taiwan is being helped in this aspect by Japan. Their air defenses have improved. The Chinese were carrying out a lot of propaganda warfare here by showing as if they are going to attack the Taiwan Islands. So therefore, they have been practicing what is called as the amphibious exercises, but Taiwan is ready. As far as Taiwan's western coast is concerned, this is Taiwan's western coast. This is rocky, and actually amphibious landing from the Chinese mainland on Taiwan from this side is difficult as far as the maritime experts are concerned. It is felt that if China has to attack Taiwan, then it has to attack not like this, but it has to come and attack from this side. So China is building up on certain landing ships, large as they are called, which will be used for carrying out amphibious operations. But Taiwan is a very patriotic country. They have built up their defenses, and all the Taiwanese people are against it. And as far as India is concerned, we have a very good relationship of technological cooperation plus intelligence cooperation with Taiwan. And recently, when India wished Dalai Lama on his birthday, Taiwan also followed suit and wished the Dalai Lama. However, as far as USA is concerned, under the present regime of Donald Trump, it has been having a flip-flop on the policy of Taiwan. At one place, they put their aircraft carriers to help Taiwan. In next time, they said, we do not support Taiwan's independence. Now, India is in close cooperation with Taiwan, and it is trying to help Taiwan into many areas, especially of technology. Taiwan is cooperating with us in Make in India, etc. So Taiwan's technological capabilities are being put to good use. Now I'll quickly come down to the coastal security domain. You are aware that from the baseline up to 12 nautical miles, it is the coastal police or the marine police which are responsible. Then you have the Coast Guard, which is responsible from 12 nautical miles to 200 nautical miles, but they have also been made responsible into the territorial waters also. And the Indian Navy is responsible as far as the area beyond 200 nautical miles are concerned. And these are the important trade routes which pass from near India. And here you can see how lucky we are as far as the maritime domain is concerned. All the important choke points in the world are located so near India that in case of a war, we can stop enemies either into the first choke point, that is the Strait of Hormuz, thereby stopping the oil flow of China, or in this area where we can stop the traffic coming from Europe, etc. In addition to this, we have the other creeks. And of course, as far as the Malacca Strait is concerned, or the Singapore Strait, I have already spoken about it. So we must utilize our geographical location in a big way so that we are able to defend not only our coastal security, but our maritime security. These are the coastal states for whom the coastal security is important. And the biggest today threat to our coastal security is firstly illegal migration of Bangladeshis to West Bengal and illegal migration to the Orissa coast. Also, there are reports that some kind of an arms help must be coming via Andhra Pradesh to the areas of which are affected by Naxalism. As far as this area is concerned, below Kerala and Tamil Nadu, a lot of infiltration takes place from Sri Lanka here. And as far as the Andaman and Nicobar Islands are concerned, there's a poaching which takes place there from foreign vessels, especially the Chinese. And today, the Chinese have also given 2 submarines to Bangladesh, which they are using for basically carrying out coastal oblique surveillance in the Bay of Bengal. Now, enemies of the country use both land borders and sea borders to create problems for us. Today, our land borders are very well guarded, especially the Jammu and especially the Pakistani border, especially the Chinese border. But what is guarded very less, or which is more porous, are the coastal borders. So therefore, a lot of smuggling takes place from here. A lot of illegal trade takes place from there. Poaching takes place in the island territories of Andaman Nicobar Island. Narcotics is being smuggled from here. And as I mentioned to you, illegal Bangladeshi migration. So we have to ensure that we have to utilize all the agencies that are at our disposal to guard our various assets on the coastline. I will talk very briefly about the port trust, etc. You can see the port trust here. As far as we have a large number of ports, 13 major ports and other non-major ports, its security is the responsibility comes under them. That is security. We have the CISF, which is guarding the important port. There are private security agencies guarding the private ports. But and also these ports are guided by guidelines given by the by the World Maritime, by the World IMO, International Maritime Organization, which talks about ISPS code, that is International Security and Port Time Security Code. So therefore, security of the ports, especially the international shipping ports, is ensured by these people. They have to be very careful about it. DG Shipping is responsible for shipping of ours. We have a fair number of ships which get into the international trade. Then we have the DG lighthouses, which have lighthouses located all along the coastline, and they are wonderful places as far as surveillance of the sea is concerned. Then we have the fisheries people. The fishery is actually can act as our eyes and ears. At any point of time, 3 to 3.5 lakh fishing vessels are out at the sea carrying out fishing. And today, if enemy has to do any inimical activity, especially Pakistan and China, it has to use some people from the fisheries. So if fisheries, if the local fishermen are on our side, if they act as our eyes and ears, we are definitely very well off. Then you have the DG hydrocarbons. Today, a fair amount of exploration is going on in the exclusive economic zone. We have a Bombay High, which supplies about 20% of our oil from the sea. In addition to that, in the Godavari Kaveri basin also, the oil recoveries are significant. And it is also said that we have significant reserves even in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So therefore, their role in ensuring that our platforms, oil platforms are taken care of. And of course, for that, Coast Guard also has a role, especially the Indian Navy has an important role as far as guarding the oil platforms are concerned. Then you also have the intelligence agencies. We have a lot of intelligence agencies which are there on the coast. They are the Intelligence Bureau. They have Research and Analysis Wing. You have the Naval Intelligence. You have the Coast Guard Intelligence. You have the Army Intelligence or the Military Intelligence. And there are police intelligence of various states that are there. And there are economic agencies. They have their own intelligence. And today, the Coast Guard has been nominated as the lead agency as far as the intelligence coordination is concerned. Monthly meetings take place there, and a fair amount of successful operations have been launched in the past, especially catching of narcotics. So I'm sure this will improve in the days to come. Then we have other armed forces like the Air Force. It has certain surveillance elements with it. With the drones coming now, our capability to guard our coastline is improving. But we have to ensure that the security breaches on our coastline is kept to minimum. Then you have the customs, you have the immigration, you have the border security force. And as far as the most important agencies like the Navy and the Coast Guard, we have been speaking very, very regularly. Okay. So this is the area which we have to guard as far as the coastal security is concerned, and an exclusive economic zone, which is very, very large. And we are lucky to get additional exclusive economic zone because of our island territories, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and also the Lakshadweep and the Minicoy Islands. And especially, we are in a way, we are building up a fair amount of infrastructure in this area also. Let us hope it improves over a period of time. So coastline of about 7,600 kilometers, Andaman Nicobar Islands 572, Lakshadweep 27, major ports 13, non-major ports 185, and the exclusive economic zone and the extended exclusive economic zone is shown to you. So what you have to understand is, in addition to the island territories, we have a lot of other islands also. Of the western coast, we have 447 islands, and of the eastern coast, we have 151 islands. These also act as forward bases. However, we have to make full use of it. A lot of radars are being placed here. Therefore, the quality of our coastal security will definitely improve. As far as the military forces in the maritime domain are concerned, obviously they are the Indian Navy, the Coast Guard, the Border Security Force, Customs, State Police, etc. Okay. Now, Navy's role is well known to you, and I have spoken about it. So I'll not speak in detail. But what is important is that we need to improve our actionable intelligence, because our resources will always will always fall short. As far as the security of coast is concerned, there are certain areas which are very important, especially the area of creeks, the areas of bays, river mouths, rivers which come from the land, riverine areas, marshy areas, and other maritime habitat. So we have guarding coastline doesn't mean only guarding the coastline, but it means guarding creeks also, guarding bays also, guarding river mouths also. And the agencies involved are shown here. Now, Coast Guard, I had spoken about it last time, so I'm not going to speak about it. However, we'll focus a bit on the Border Security Force. The Border Security Force is actually guarding the Bangladesh border, but near the Sundarbans, there is a sea border on which they have what is called as the floating BOPs. And on the western side, in Gujarat area, especially in the area of Sar Creek, they have coastal borders which are called as the Sar Creek area. So there you have the floating wing which is there, which is very important, because there the sea is shallow and we are not able to completely guard it. Customs is responsible wherever an international trade takes place. So police, we will talk about police in more detail later. So we have a lot of agencies and we have a fair amount of assets which are there. Advanced offshore patrol vessels, fast patrol vessels, intermediate patrol vessels. You have the STBs, you have the air quotient vehicles, you have the interceptor boats, etc. So we have air assets also in terms of fixed-wing aircraft, in terms of Chetaks, in terms of ALHS, etc. And these are the dangerous areas which we need to guard, especially from the Park Bay. Fair amount of smuggling takes place from there. During LTT, this area was very widely misused. The area of Sundarban is one of the most dangerous areas as far as the coastal security is concerned. Here there are three agencies. You have the Coast Guard, you have a bit of Navy, you have the police, but the coordination requires further improvement. Fair amount of illegal migration, illegal trade is taking place from there, and with certain people in West Bengal supporting illegal migration, the danger only gets highlighted. In the Sar Creek area, the Pakistanis come regularly there, and a lot of fishermen of ours are caught by them. BSF is here, the Coast Guard is here, Navy also comes here once in a while, but we need to be more proactive to ensure that our fishermen are not caught. Now, there are a lot of achievements as far as our coastal security is concerned. The kind of operations that we do is the surveillance operations, carrying out boarding operations on a ship which is suspected, etc. So, and we have a lot of regional cooperation with many countries. I will skip all this and I will now only come to certain more areas that we have to ensure that all our installations on the sea, that is the oil platforms, various oil refineries are guarded properly, the offshore assets are guarded properly, international border is taken care of, and of course, terrorism, etc. is taken care of. So this is what is going to happen. I am now highly overshot my time. So I will now end up my presentation in saying that today coastal security is a job which requires jointmanship. Jointmanship means everybody has to act as a team. The Indian Navy, the Coast Guard, the coastal polices of 9 states. In addition to that, the customs. In addition to that, other military forces, intelligence agencies. If they act in hand and in a coordinated manner, we can definitely reduce the challenges that are there in front of coastal security. And the most important factor in any coastal security is the people living on the coastline, especially the fishing community. If they become our eyes and ears, we will be able to keep our coastline safe. So I will stop here with this, that if you have liked the video, do like it, try and share the link with as many people as possible. Now see you next week again on a separate topic related to coastal oblique maritime security. Bye bye till then and Jai Hind.